morning, everyone. Welcome to the 2024 Geisel School of Medicine Class Day and Commencement Ceremony. Please take your seats. Good morning and welcome. My name is Dwayne Compton. I'm the Dean of the Medical School, and it is my pleasure to welcome all of you to our service today and to be the moderator of our ceremony. I want to begin our program with just a few introductions and a few recognitions. So in particular, we have to start by recognizing our graduates on the cusp of receiving their degrees. A very warm welcome to all the family and friends that are here today, both in person and those that are joining on live stream. Thank you for your support of our students. And also, I am very grateful to all the Geisel and Dartmouth faculty and alumni who are in attendance today. Students, I hope you recognize how many faculty came today to support you in the ceremony. Let me do some introductions of guests and members of the senior academic leadership who are joining me today on the main stage. So I'd like to start with our invited Class Day speaker, Dr. Paul Sánchez, who's Dean of the School of Medicine in the Central University of the Caribbean in Puerto Rico. Dr. Sonia Kimienti, Dean of Educational Affairs. Dr. David Coates, Dartmouth Provost. Sue Finnegan, Dartmouth Trustee. Dr. John Dick, Assistant Dean for Clinical Skills. Dr. Kristen Casale, President of the Geisel School of Medicine Alumni Council. Dr. Tim Gardner, Assistant Dean of Medical Student Research. Dr. Todd Morrell, Associate Dean of Faculty Affairs. Dr. Steve Benson, Professor of Medicine. Dr. Erica Brown, Dean of Faculty Affairs. And Dr. Carrie Rosenkrantz, Associate Professor of Surgery. Let me also recognize, we had a Board of Advisors meeting yesterday for the School of Medicine, and let me recognize some of the members of the board are actually joining us today in the audience. So I want to thank them for joining us. Now, to start our program, I would like to introduce the Provost, so please join me in welcoming Provost Coates to the podium to provide some opening remarks on behalf of the Dartmouth Senior Academic Leadership.
Thank you, Dean Compton. Esteemed faculty and staff, proud families and friends, and of course, the incredible Geisel class of 2024, congratulations. Today marks a monumental achievement in your lives, one that has been years in the making, but not without its unique challenges and triumphs. As we stand here today, it's impossible not to reflect on the remarkable journey that brought us to this moment. Most of you began your medical school journey at Dartmouth during a time unlike any other, amidst a global pandemic that shook the very foundations of our world. Yet in the face of uncertainty, you displayed resilience, determination, and unwavering dedication to your calling. You embarked on this path, stepping into the unknown with courage and conviction at a time when medical hospitals and facilities were grappling with increased hospitalizations. Many of you started in a remote capacity, robbed of in-person traditions and denied the kind of socialization that comes with the beginning of such a profound journey. You all quickly adapted to virtual learning, embraced telemedicine, and found innovative ways to connect with your peers and mentors. Some of you took a longer route, navigating through different degrees before finding your way to medicine. Regardless of the paths you took, each of you has a story of perseverance and strength to tell. Throughout your time at Geisel, you've not only studied the intricacies of health and medicine, but also examined the broader societal factors that shape public well-being. You've witnessed the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity, whether it's in a clinical setting or in the community. You cared for patients in the midst of a global pandemic, providing comfort and healing during some of their most vulnerable moments. But beyond the challenges, there have been moments of triumph, of camaraderie, and of growth. You've formed lifelong friendships, collaborated on groundbreaking research, and discovered the true meaning of compassion and empathy. And now, as you stand on the precipice of a new chapter, I have no doubt you are prepared to tackle whatever lies ahead. As you embark on your careers as physicians, remember the lessons you've learned during these unprecedented times. Remember the resilience you've displayed, the compassion you've shown, and the sacrifices you've made. Remember that you have the power to make a difference in the lives of others, to heal, to inspire, and to lead. The opportunities that lie ahead are boundless, and I have every confidence in each and every one of you that you will continue to navigate them with grace, integrity, and compassion. So as you take this next step forward, do so with your heads held high, your hearts full of hope, and your spirits fortified by the knowledge that you are ready to make a profound impact on the world. So congratulations, Geisel Class of 2024. May your journey be filled with continued success, fulfillment, and endless possibilities. Thank you.
Thank you, Provost Coates, for those kind words. It is now my great pleasure to introduce our Class Day speaker today, Dr. Paul Sánchez. He earned his MPH degree from the Yale School of Public Health and his MD from Albert Einstein College of Medicine. He completed residency in emergency medicine at Jacobi Montefiore Medical Centers and is board certified. He has devoted his career to diversifying the clinical and academic medicine workforces and to ensuring educational quality for all learners. He served as the Executive Associate Vice Chancellor at the Health Sciences Center for Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion at the University of New Mexico. And in that role, he launched the very first formal medical Spanish program at the medical school. He was co-PI of a HRSA-funded grant to create a New Mexico Center of Excellence, and he co-created a Health and Health Sciences-wide Inclusive Excellence Council. He is widely published in academic medicine with journal articles and books, many of which focus on career advancement to diversify the healthcare workforce. He's an associate editor for MedEd Portal and formerly served on the board of academic medicine. He's the executive director of the Latino Medical Student Organization, and he is president of Building the Next Generation of Academic Physicians, a nonprofit organization dedicated to advancing diversity in academia. He now serves, he just started recently in a new role as Dean of the School of Medicine in the Central University of the Caribbean in Puerto Rico. And I am very excited to hear his comments after my discussion with him last evening. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Sánchez.
One of the things I wanted to comment on is it was so beautiful to see so many family members come down here and take pictures of you. It just warmed my heart, and it reminded me of my own parents. So thank you again, Provost Coates, Geisel School of Medicine, Compton, Dean Compton, my good friend and colleague, your new Associate Dean of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, Dr. Lisa McBride, your Dean of Educational Affairs, Sonia Chimenti, and all the Geisel community for this opportunity and great honor to celebrate the brilliant class of 2024. I can feel your excitement and pride. As mentioned by Provost Coates, it's great that we can finally come together after 4 years of isolation. Many of you may not have been able to attend your college graduation. And to the graduates, take a deep breath and a mental snapshot of the joy you feel right now as a part of this ceremony. Before I focus on you, our notable honorees, we must give recognition to the families and communities who nurtured your development towards the medical profession. Mothers, please stand. Our mothers, please stand. you are due so much more than our applause. Accept our gratefulness and know that we will champion women's rights, health, and autonomy. Other members of our honorees, families, and friends, please also stand for a special applause. And I want to thank my own parents, Mr. Nelson Sanchez and Ms. Irma Sanchez, for paving the path, walking by my side, and at other times pushing me forward. Honorees, similar to you, sitting in my medical school graduation was a dream come true. But the journey to realizing this dream has been unique to our parents, to me, to you, and to our communities. In preparation for this talk, I asked my parents what was their dream, their American dream, and simply put, opportunities for you and your brother Nelson to have a better life than us. And like you, honorees, my dream was to become a physician. But distinct was my lived experiences that informed my decision. Many of you as well may have been personally influenced to pursue medicine because of different health conditions or diseases that afflicted your family or your community. As a child of the 1980s, I became intimately aware of how HIV/AIDS, formerly known as GRID, or gay-related immune deficiency, was disproportionately impacting men who have sex with men and communities of color. My first funeral was to visit a distant uncle's death from AIDS, and I was shaken by constant media images of gay men dying prematurely from AIDS, ostracized, demonized, and in isolation. Even as a preteen, with thoughts of a same-gender loving partner, I feared a similar premature death and dreamed of becoming a physician to not only treat but prevent disease and build a family. Like you, the dream of becoming a physician started to be realized through countless pre-medical exams, gaining a competitive MCAT score, acceptance into medical school, the Geisel class of 2024. For me and many of you, we gained access to medical school from hard-fought efforts by prior generations. Recall that for over a century at many US medical schools, if you checked a box or even were perceived as Hispanic, Black, Asian, Native American, LGBT, Muslim, women, or Jewish, you were unjustly disqualified from being considered for medical school, while the legal system stood blind and mute. How times have slowly changed through diversity of thought and practice, whereby now we celebrate a diverse class at Geisel of 55% women and 45% men. 9% LGBT and 91% heterosexual identified. 22% who identify as underrepresented racial and ethnic minorities, and 11% international. Truly, what a beautiful accomplishment. But it took protests, voting, and new laws to protect all Americans, not just privileged men. And even after attainment of the medical school acceptance, the dream often doesn't manifest as expected. We endure countless hours of arduous studying, dozens of tests, sometimes retaken, smelling like formaldehyde, and detachment from our loved ones, family, and partners. For me, the realities of time were often as burdensome as the daily tasks of medical school. And the illusion of an equitable medical school educational experience quickly vanished. For example, in 2001, when I started medical school at Einstein in the Bronx, only part of me was protected. There was an absence of LGBT rights. Remember that gay marriage and the addition of sexual orientation and gender identity to the Civil Rights Act of 1964 didn't materialize till 2015 and 2020, respectively. I remember courageous classmates and partners Sarah Levin and Maggie Jones organized a petition to sue the school to allow same-sex couples to be granted housing, just like married heterosexual students. I took the risk, joined the petition, and assumed the disparate burden because it would allow me and other LGBT individuals to have the same rights as individuals who identified as heterosexual. Eventually, the school changed its housing policy, and the case paved the way for additional LGBT rights. I attended class every day, hoping that we would discuss how to manage the day-to-day health and social conditions of my community. The Bronx is home to a community that is historically 50% Hispanic, the majority Spanish-speaking, 25% living below the poverty level, and for those 25 years and older, nearly a quarter without a high school diploma. Yet few of the educators or leaders were Hispanic, bilingual, from the community, or created a day-to-day learning experience of how to advocate and advance health equity. And when I needed to be understood and uplifted, I went to the Office for Diversity Enhancement, one of the few competent, safer spaces where I could readily speak about how medical school was different for me as an individual who identified as Hispanic, gay, and as a first-generation medical student. And the office uniquely helped me realize that I was not less than, but rather full of assets. That who I am most aligned with our most vulnerable patients. Unfortunately, right now, in Florida, Texas, Iowa, and too many other states, but not New Hampshire, offices for diversity, equity, and inclusion are being misclassified and dismantled without any concurrent inquiry of where our paying students go to achieve their dream. I was fortunate to speak up and receive advising from a few Hispanic and LGBT faculty and numerous other faculty, women faculty, who could empathize as another minoritized group. You see, Einstein wasn't bad. I'm standing here as commencement speaker for one of the oldest and most prestigious medical schools in the United States. But could it have been better? What could have been a dream medical school? I learned from two outstanding student leaders, Geisel student president Christina Ali and vice president Sean Howren, that on starting medical school, the unexpected happened to you as well. In 2020, many of you started medical school during a global pandemic whereby you spent most of your time masked and socially distanced, restricted to virtual meetings. An educational journey of isolation from peers and family members. You participated in one of the most consequential elections, followed by insurrection at the Capitol, and the threat of violence and insurrection continues today. In the spring of 2021, 1/3 of your class was accused of cheating, necessitating a rebuilding of trust and transparency among peers. Per Christina and Sean, many of you have been on the front line of addressing racial injustice at Geisel, rebuilding spaces and hiring critical DEI staff, assuming minority taxation while the system is rebuilt to promote diversity capital. The community was always there, but now lifting them up has been a different achievement. Through your combined efforts, you received the 2023 Health Professions Higher Education Excellence in Diversity Award. But more importantly, through your efforts, you were able to be students again. Despite these challenging academic and social times, you have triumphed and developed into competent physicians because of your resilience, resolve, grit, and determination. Your dreams and advocacy shouldn't stop now that you have an MD after your name and a residency spot. As a physician, you are not only a diagnostician, but your status in society affords you great privilege, positioning, and social responsibility as experts, educators, leaders, and advocates. I want you to leave today asking yourself, if you were to continue to dream of new possibilities, what would they be? What would be your dream medical school? As I considered this question, I reflect on our history and the necessity for medical schools at historically Black colleges and universities to be founded to provide an opportunity for individuals of Black African American identity to attend medical school. The Women Medical College of Pennsylvania, formerly known as the Female Medical College of Pennsylvania, was the first American medical college dedicated to teaching women medicine. Albert Einstein College of Medicine was founded to afford a fair chance for students of Jewish identity. And the Cherokee Nation hosts a new medical school for students to serve indigenous communities. The changing demographics of the US now shows that 20% of the population is Latino. As I reflect on my own journey and the state of the US, where is the mainland Hispanic serving institution medical school, whereby medical Spanish and medical English is afforded to our students? Ideas are easy, execution is everything. It takes a team to win. Currently, in my role, I'm co-leading an extraordinary team to establish the first US mainland bilingual, bicultural regional medical campus, and it's expected to be in the Northeast. And I ask you, what would be your dream of a US healthcare system? As practitioners, what you see, what you hear, and learn from patients gives an unparalleled expertise to advance health equity. I dream of a healthcare system that provides accessible, comprehensive, empathetic, ongoing care to all in the US. In 2010, nearly 50 million Americans lacked health insurance coverage. Since the implementation of the Affordable Care Act, now an additional 24 million Americans have coverage. However, there is still room to grow, including the 4.9% New Hampshireites who lack insurance. Dartmouth's class of 2024, you are among the best and brightest to prevent another 1 million from dying of COVID-19 infections, to lead new mental health and substance abuse programs, develop groundbreaking gene therapies, optimize the integration of artificial intelligence for better health outcomes, consider social determinants of health to reduce health disparities, and secure and expand reproductive rights for sexual and gender minorities. As physicians and experts, continue to use your critical inquiry and evidence-based approach to advance progress for our healthcare system. Most importantly, what is your dream for America? As we approach the presidential election in November, I reflect on the words of Martin Luther King Jr. It would be fatal for the nation to overlook the urgency of the moment. And so let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire. There is no better option to secure our profession, the health of our communities, and continue the health of all Americans than to vote. Don't stop dreaming, don't stop realizing, don't stop leading. A quote by Henry David Thoreau states, "Go confidently in the direction of your dreams and live the life you've imagined." Congratulations, Geisel class of 2024.
Thank you, Dr. Sánchez, for those very powerful words and very, very timely. So thank you so much for sharing that. I would now like to invite Dr. Kimienti to the podium to introduce our medical student speaker.
Good morning. I'm delighted to have the honor of introducing the student speaker selected by the class of 2024. Throughout her journey at Geisel, this student has been an exemplar of collaborative and inclusive leadership, of kindness, and of collegiality. She has a remarkable ability to listen with an open mind, to truly hear, and to foster constructive dialogue. During challenging times, she was someone to whom her classmates could turn for guidance, ensuring that each student was able to share their perspective. She's a consummate student advocate who knew when to reach out when concerns were bubbling up, and she always put the needs of others first. If a student found themselves in a tough position and needed guidance, they would take comfort knowing that they could turn to her for a balanced perspective. It was a privilege to work closely with her this past year as she served as your student government president. I admire her strength, her courage, and her inclusive leadership. Please welcome Christina Ali to the podium.
Holy crap, okay. Hi guys. Good morning, everyone. My name is Christina Ali, and I'm honored to be speaking on behalf of the class of 2024. So I have a slightly different perspective on this class, as I started originally with the class of 2023, like many of us here. I added a year, couldn't get enough, about halfway through medical school. And for most of the people that started in this class, as everyone has said, bravely chose to start med school during a global pandemic. They moved up here to the woods and mostly saw their classmates on Zoom. They didn't get much in-person interaction until their clinical rotations, where being on the same team or living together in away housing was often the first time they really got to know each other. Nothing illustrates this more than when I showed up for my internal medicine rotation in California. I walked into the somewhat air-conditioned shared apartment and met a complete stranger who was apparently my classmate, who I'd be living with for the next 2 months. That random man was Greg Soralik, who after 8 weeks of being roommates in a shared fascination of the British royal family has become one of my favorite people here at Geisel, and all of our favorite people here at Geisel, right? And as Dr. Sánchez so eloquently stated, our classes had so many other obstacles. COVID was not our only challenge. We had to rebuild our trust with our administration, and we had many national and international crises that added to our daily stress. But through everything, we remained committed to building community and supporting one another. And that is what has made this time so memorable. It's the people we've met here and the friendships we've created. For me, I will remember bachelor nights with my closest friends, getting caught up on each other's lives with an appropriate amount of wine. And I'll remember lunches with my new classmates during my psych rotation, which is the first time I truly felt like a part of this class. Shout out to Steph and Will Carroll. And I will definitely remember matching outfits during capstone, the peak of which was getting everyone to wear flannel that Brendan brought in extras for, and then making the lovely Dr. Levy take our picture, because he doesn't have another job, right? And we all have these moments and memories that made our time here so special, and that's what I want us to all think about today. So as we express our gratitude to the faculty and staff that have guided us, to our families and friends who have supported us, let us also extend appreciation to one another. For me, and I know I'm not alone in this, coming to Geisel meant being far from my family, living near more trees than I've ever lived near before. And it was my classmates that made this a home. Thank you to my fellow fifth-year seniors for being on this whole ride together with me. And to the entire class of 2024, thank you for being welcoming to us and for your commitment to each other. I love being a part of this class, and I'm so excited to see what we all do next.
Thank you, Dr. Ali. Now it is my great pleasure to officially induct our graduating students into the medical profession as we formally confer onto each student the Doctor of Medicine and present them with their graduate hoods. So the hood is an outward signature of your academic degree, and it will signify your academic rank throughout your career. The velvet will signify the degree that you've earned, and the satin reflects the school that conferred the degree upon you. So in this case, your satin lining will be green to reflect Dartmouth, and the velvet will also be green to signify the Doctor of Medicine degree. Earlier this year, the graduating MD class selected 2 distinguished members of our faculty as recipients of the Basic Science and the Clinical Science Teaching Awards. These 2 individuals are Dr. Steve Benson and Dr. Carrie Rosenkrantz. They will actually share in the honor of hooding our graduating students today. And so now I invite Dr. Kimienti to present our graduating students.
Students in the Geisel School of Medicine class of 2024, allow me to extend my heartfelt congratulations to you all as you embark on the next phase of your professional journeys as physicians. It is my honor to welcome you to the stage to receive your academic hoods and for the conferral of your degrees. Will the graduates please stand and come forward when I call your name? Dr. Boyoung An. Dr. Christina Michelle Kilo Ali. Dr. Katie Rose Allen. Dr. Kathleen Elizabeth Allen. Dr. Haya Al-Shabi. Dr. Blair Anderson. Dr. Sef Masood Ansari. Dr. Yara Maria Bacas Olivares. Dr. Arham Fatima Barkatullah. Dr. Matthew Robert Barnes. Dr. Brendan William Barth. Dr. Laura Kathleen Barthold. Dr. Olua Faranmi Bello. Dr. Drew Thomas Bergman. Dr. Noah Christopher Blythe. Dr. Armando Nicholas Braz. Dr. Charlie Califf. Dr. Briggs Carhart Veresh. Dr. William Walker Carroll. Dr. Priscilla Cevallos. Dr. Amal Chima. Dr. Ariana Gabriela Diaz. Dr. Kaylee Dickinson. Dr. Stephanie Catherine Ebel. Dr. Liesel Shoshana Eibschutz. Dr. Maya Summer Ellis. Dr. Faraz Farhadi. Dr. Adam Gabriel Fassman. Dr. Emma Fitzsimmons. Dr. Cooper Gardner. Dr. Audrey Brooke Garza. Dr. Lily Green. Dr. Isadora Guarino. Dr. Sean Rowan Halloran. Dr. Mariana Lilani Henry. Dr. Samuel Peter Howard. Dr. Ewan David Hu. Dr. Malachi Joyner. Dr. Ifoma Kamalu. Dr. Jamie Lee Karch. Dr. Jared Michael Isaac Katz. Dr. Gary Kurzbergen. Dr. Stephanie Sojung Kim. Dr. Samuel Gordon Kosen. Dr. Marilyn Yvonne Mosia Kwasi-Brew. Dr. Krista Eleanor Cook. Dr. Andrew Yunkun Lee. Dr. Hong Min Lee. Dr. Jessica Ann Lee. Dr. Christopher Lights. Dr. Sean Liu. Dr. Reed Lance Macy. Dr. Maria Mullick. Dr. Michael Margron. Dr. Jacob Markwood. Dr. Emmeline Aurelia Moore. Dr. Emmeline Brose Nelton. Dr. Grace Catherine Neville. Dr. Fong Wang Nguyen. Dr. Chiamaka Laurentia Okoria. Dr. Agnes Meave Otieno. Dr. Jasmine Equie Panton. Dr. Zachary Amofa Panton. Dr. Lindsay Jane Parton. Dr. Brayson Pavelchik. Dr. Andrew Panetta. Dr. Seth Carl Raymond. Dr. Paul Andrew Reichert. Dr. Christopher Alexander Roldan. Dr. Shannon Ryan. Dr. Christopher Robert Salazar Thompson. Dr. Margaret Jacqueline Sharon. Dr. Emily Hannah Stitt. Dr. Gregory Stephen Suralic. Dr. Marek Svoboda. Dr. Marie Siku. Dr. Liam Thomas Sinan. Dr. Delaney Taylor. Dr. Joseph Tella. Dr. Tanny Thompson. Dr. Chibambe Nathanael Chimbombu. Dr. Aaron Mustafa Veziroglu. Dr. Emily Vogelin Wexler. Dr. Kathleen Elizabeth Wilson. Dr. Anna Elizabeth Whitkin. Dr. Yi Hui Ashley Yang. Dr. Siri Hu Zhang. Dr. Pavel Zhuravlev.
Congratulations, all of you. I now have the privilege to bestow the William Mellon Chamberlain Memorial Prize and Dean's Medal to the member of the graduating class who, in the opinion of the faculty, has the best overall record of academic achievement at the Geisel School of Medicine. This year, the committee decided that 2 students were equally meritorious, and so each will receive this award this year. The award recipients this year are Dr. Maggie Sharon and Dr. Chris Thompson. No. Stay here for a minute. I have to say a few things. And I noticed as we were reading names that you were sitting side by side, and what are the odds, right? So it was interesting. Both Maggie and Chris have been outstanding students, excelling both in the classroom and in the clinical setting. And it also turns out they're both graduates of Dartmouth. So they share a lot in common other than sitting next to each other today. So I'll talk about each one of them in turn. So Chris returned to the Upper Valley after numerous years living and working in New York City as part of Teach for America and completing his pre-medical post-bac work at NYU, and prior to matriculation here at Geisel in 2020. At Geisel, Chris has been a passionate leader in medical education. I think he's expressed a desire to do that in a career path. He served as student government vice president for academics and student member of the Geisel Assessment Oversight Committee as well as others. The faculty described Chris as being extremely motivated, organized, and a great patient advocate. His emotional intelligence is extremely high and his capacity for empathy is unmatched. So Chris's next step will be internship in internal medicine at the Massachusetts General Hospital. So Chris, I have this for you. Maggie also spent her time between undergraduate and medical school in New York, working in a pediatric clinical research at Northwell Health. Maggie has remained highly engaged in maternal child health at Geisel, co-founding an experiential elective in obstetrics and pediatrics for preclinical students and leading multiple co-curricular activities in women's health. Faculty noted that Maggie is extremely reliable, steady, and diligent, and that she obtained outstanding clinical histories and put patients at ease. Her work is thorough and thoughtful, and she's deeply committed to equity and quality in both research and practice. Maggie's next step will take her to internship in obstetrics and gynecology at the University of Utah. So, congrats. I'm almost done.
No one told us this was happening.
I know, it's a surprise. It's always a surprise every year. It's great.
Part of rehearsal.
So just everyone can give our warmest congratulations for both Chris and Meg on their achievement. Now I ask Dr. Kimienti to return to the podium for the Good Physician Award.
That's going to fall off if I put that up here. All right, I am so delighted to announce the recipient of this award. And this award was established through the generosity of anonymous faculty members, and the recipient is selected by you, the class of 2024. Members of the class are asked to select the person who best exemplifies the personal and intangible qualities of the good physician. They are asked to consider these traits, emphasizing the combination of scientific and professional knowledge with the qualities of general wisdom, of caring, of empathy, and of devotion to the welfare of others, which defines the highest level of the profession of medicine. And I think when I read the name, you will all understand why this member of your class was selected by your class. So the class of 2024 recipient of the Good Physician Award is Dr. Emma Fitzsimmons. Emma. Congratulations, Emma. I actually didn't know I was going to be preparing some remarks, but I just wanted to say a couple of words about Emma to this class. You've selected her because of the qualities not only of her outstanding excellence in the classroom, in the clinics, in the community, but she was somebody who shortly after I arrived here also demonstrated excellence in empathy and caring for you during a very difficult time. You may not know, she met with me frequently to advocate for your class. So Emma, I am truly impressed, truly gratified, and thankful to this class for recognizing what I saw from the first moment I arrived. Congratulations.
I'd now like to invite Dr. Dick to the podium to lead all physicians in reciting the Hippocratic Oath. Dr. Dick.
Thank you, Dean Compton. It is my honor, really, to stand here before the class of 2024. It's been a remarkable journey. Most of you here 4 years. We met in a parking lot, I think, handing out scrapers to you. Many of you we met 6 years ago, 7 years ago, some of you. You've made it. Congratulations. I would invite all physicians to stand, including our newest physicians here, and recite the Hippocratic Oath with me, please. All right, I think it is in your booklet. I do solemnly swear, by whatever I hold most sacred, that I will be loyal to the profession of medicine and just and generous to its members, that the regimen I adopt shall be for the benefit of my patients according to my ability and judgment, and not for their hurt or for any wrong, that I will lead my life and practice my art in uprightness and honor, that into whatsoever house I shall enter, it shall be for the good of the sick to the utmost of my power, holding myself far aloof from wrong, from corruption, from the tempting of others to vice, that I will exercise my art solely for the care of my patients and will give no drug, perform no operation for a harmful intent, even if solicited, far less suggested. That whatsoever I shall see or hear in the lives of my patients, which is not fitting to be spoken, I will keep inviolably secret. These things I do swear. And now, if I will be true to this, may prosperity and good repute be forever mine. The opposite, if I shall prove myself forsworn.
Now we have a special part of our ceremony to recognize and thank the following students for their military service, as well as members of our community who are currently or have served. Audrey Garza, Michael Margren, Brayson Pavlicek, Emily Pengelly, and Sean M. Turner. I'm now going to invite, thank you. I'm now going to invite Dr. Gardner, who is a major in the New Hampshire Army National Guard, and retired Navy Commander Dr. Kristen Foster, to commission Dr. Margren and Dr. Pavlicek. Michael and Brayson, would you come forward to the stage, please? Tim?
Okay, so this is the oath of the commissioned officer to commission Dr. Pavlicek into the U.S. military. Right hand up. I, Brayson Pavlicek, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I, Michael Margren,
I, Michael Margren,
having been appointed an officer
having been appointed an officer
in the Navy of the United States,
in the Navy of the United States,
as indicated above,
in
the grade of lieutenant,
do
do solemnly swear
that
I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
that I take this obligation freely
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservations or purposes of evasion,
without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Lieutenant Dr. Michael Margren.
Now it's my pleasure to welcome Dr. Kristen Geisel to the podium. She's Dartmouth College class of '89, Geisel class of '94. She will now officially welcome you to the alumni.
Congratulations, esteemed graduates of the Geisel class of 2024. As I look out at this group of enthusiastic, young, hopeful faces, I'm reminded of my time at Geisel 30 years ago. As I reminisce about that time, I realize that it's the people who I think about the most. It's the teachers. Dr. Mosenthal, my anatomy teacher, who did so much more than teach me anatomy. He helped me believe in myself, and I thought maybe I didn't belong. It's Joe O'Donnell, who taught us to treat the whole patient and not just the symptoms. And it's my classmates, who were there to celebrate with me when I got the ABG on my first try in front of my attending, who understood the awe I felt when I stood there watching a beating heart and an open chest during my CT rotation. It was they who helped me cram impossible amounts of information into my brain when I was studying for the boards. And they were the ones who were there to comfort me when my first patient died. My Geisel colleagues shared and understood my medical experience in a way no others could. And because of that, we have a special bond. It's no surprise I'm still in touch with many of my classmates. Over the years, we've reminisced about our time in medical school, and we've been there for each other, personally and professionally, to celebrate our successes and to give advice and support when our lives got challenging. This year is my 30th reunion, and the bond I feel to this place, to the Geisel School of Medicine, and the people who shared it with me is as strong as ever. As you move on into the next chapter of your lives, you'll have your own Geisel bond, often bringing you back to the green, in mind and hopefully in person. Nurture this bond. Stay in touch with your Geisel classmates and with the institution. The road you will travel as a physician will sometimes get rocky. When it does, remember your Geisel friends, and also remember that there is a group of over 4,000 caring and engaged alumni traveling along with you. As the president of the Geisel Alumni Association, it's my privilege to welcome you into the fold. Your time as medical students has ended, and now your permanent status and responsibility as alumni has begun. We are the stewards of Geisel. We are dedicated to its continuous improvement and devoted to perpetuating this Geisel bond. As my new fellow stewards, I want you to assist me with your ideas, with your time, and with your treasure to support and shape the generations of students who will follow in your footsteps. Yesterday, we introduced your secretaries, Briggs Carhart and Kathleen Wilson. And we also introduced your Alumni Council representatives, Christina Ali and Ifoma Kamalu. Please keep them informed, let them know how and what you're doing, so that we can support, guide, and celebrate you. As alumni, we're here for the institution, and we're here for each other. So stay in touch, and congratulations on your tremendous accomplishment.
Thank you, Dr. Cassell. She did say permanent members of the alumni, so you're there forever. Congratulations, class of 2024. Let me start by taking this opportunity to thank all of your family and friends that are here, both here with you now and watching online, and people who could not join us today. Medical school is a very intense experience, and you don't go through it without the help of family and friends. And so in that spirit, I think we owe your families and friends a heartfelt thanks and applause. Let me also take the opportunity to thank once again Dr. Sánchez for being part of our ceremony today. And now I'm going to ask you to join me in thanking all of the staff, the Office of Student Affairs, Medical Education, the Registrar, the Admissions Office, DICE Office, Advancement, Alumni Relations, all of the staff, and all of the volunteers who come together to help make this day possible, as well as to help you get to this day. So I want you to help me thank all of our staff. They're all here. And now it's my honor to give you your last lecture at Geisel. And this is always hard for me because as I get to know many of you, the best is when the time is that you graduate and move on. But you've all come together from all corners of the U.S. and from different countries. You are students, you are artists, you are entrepreneurs, you're volunteers, you are scientists, veterans. The arc of each of your lives converged here with each other and with us. And it's really remarkable what we've seen in this journey that we've taken together. I remember meeting many of you at that first week of orientation. We had that barbecue reception outside of Remsen. And I don't know if you think back to that time when you're meeting your classmates for the first time and learning about their experiences and their backgrounds. And for those of you who split years, you connected across different classes and made connections across different classes. I'd like you to take a moment just to look at the people next to you and to contemplate how much you've grown over the past few years, both individually and as a group. And just consider how much you've accomplished together over the past few years. I estimate that you did about 5,000 didactic hours in the classroom during this, and there were countless hours in the clinics and call rooms at all hours of the day and night. In the preclinical time, the quizzes and the formative and the assessment exams, and I hope you heeded the advice from Dr. Myers to get your affairs in order. I think that's apropos now because you're moving to another big step, so keep those wise words in mind. I want to take your memory back to the white coat ceremony. That was a really special time for each of you. The note you got from one of our alumni in the pocket and how that person was sharing wisdom for you going forward. The bond you had with your first patient and, the memorial ceremony we had to honor their generosity to help you succeed in your education. Overcoming the disruptions that were caused by the pandemic, and honestly, it was just by sheer force of will that you all pushed through that and actually pulled us through that. You recall your first exam room experience with a preceptor by your side, or maybe when you had an experience without a preceptor by your side. All of the events that you went through, assisting a birth or suturing a wound, doing blood draws or lumbars or vaccinating a child, or maybe you got in a discussion with someone who didn't want to be vaccinated and thinking about that conversation. All the different clinical sites you went to and how they each seem different, but fundamentally they are all the same and focused on the patient. The first physical exam you did and history that you took and recognizing that you just had collected private information from another individual. Maybe you had to call a patient at home or talk to a patient's family with good news, or perhaps you had to do some bad news. And then match day just a few weeks ago, and the stress of that process, it's undeniable. That's a stressful process, and the joy of that, the relief you feel at the end of that, and now you've got the anticipation once again coming and building as you go onto your next big step. I think most importantly, and Dr. Cassell mentioned this, I think most importantly, recall the people that were at your side throughout that. Your classmates, your family, our faculty, our staff, and your patients. Everyone was there to help you get to this point. And as you were fulfilling all of those curricular requirements, you were also committing yourselves to improving lives in other ways, through research projects that are expanding our medical knowledge, to academic administration and helping us in the school, and to community service projects. It's really it's really incredible what you've done. You've committed time to serve, for example, at the Good Neighbor Clinic and the Mascoma Clinic. You served on the LMSA or SNMA or the APAMSA. I had to get all those letters in order. You've volunteered at WISE and Project Salud. You worked at the Upper Valley Haven, Physicians for Human Rights. Some of you did Schweitzer fellowship programs that did community outreach. Many of you committed yourselves to service in the school through the Admissions Committee, the Restorative Justice Committee, the Medical Education Committee, and on and on. It's really impossible to capture everything that you've done, although I'm going to try, so bear with me. So, and this is where this is the part that always gets hard for me, because I can look into each of you and see what different things you've committed and done over your time here. So, Amaka, you committed your time to improve the education for all of our future students through the new Skin of Color curriculum that you created. Yara, it's really bright up here, so I can't really see where people are sitting, but I see Yara's there. The groundbreaking work you've done to provide insight into how maternal immunity can be transferred to neonates. It's amazing. Emily, the benefit to all future classes through your leadership in enhancing the Parents and Partners program. Seth, you've been incredibly committed to professional development for all of our students, and going so far as you personally provided advising to our MPH students who are interested in going into medicine. Amal, your leadership in the AAMC as a representative created a standing agenda item for all of the medical school deans in the country to focus on how to reduce risk factors that erode student mental health. That's something all of the deans are taking up as an agenda item. Emily, your work and your leadership in evaluating more cost-effective diagnostic methods for functional bowel disease. Briggs, for your service and leadership in the OSR at AAMC. And you were tackling some really thorny issues around the NRMP in that role. And I'll also say, Briggs, on a personal note, I don't know where Briggs is, but on a personal note, your kindness when you reached out to me during the pandemic, that was really important, so thank you. Kathleen, your leadership as a nutrition advisor that is tangibly improving the health of citizens of Houston, Texas. Maya, for your service as a DICE rep for many years and your leadership in restarting the Jewish student group. Faranmi, and your research investigation into the effects of redlining on cancer care. Malachi, for your commitment, enduring commitment to our admissions committee, helping us find our new students. Yeah, I got a few more to go, so bear with me. It's just, you've done so much, and I just want to recognize everyone. Sean, your efforts to support women through the work at WISE and in how you've helped individuals positively transition out of the penal system. Mo, for committing your time and advice to mentor pre-medical international students who had nowhere else to get advice. Zach, for your service on the JED campus program to help address student mental health crisis on campus. Ifoma, thank you for your leadership on SNMA, for your service on the Restorative Justice Committee. I don't know where Ifoma is. And I'll add one other thing, that I was the recipient of a very kind and empathetic email from you one day, and it's a really small thing, but it meant a lot to me at that time, so thanks for doing that. Katie, you're the first medical student to serve on the board of the Vermont Medical Society. Chris, your commitment to medical education through service on the Medical Education Committee, the Assessment Oversight Committee, the Dean's Task Force, and Student Government Chair of Academics. Maggie and Jess, and your co-founding of the Maternal Child Health Elective at Geisel, which will carry on that for future students. Stephanie, your commitment to helping others as a peer tutor, a PBL group leader, and co-leader of the Surgical Skill Elective for preclinical students. I will be remiss because I cannot touch on each and every single person in the class. So I'm sorry if I can't comment on every single accomplishment for each of you, but I will close with Christina. Thank you for your steadfast and steady leadership as class president. I know. I know your comfort zone was social chair, and I'm just really grateful, both personally and for you professionally, I'm grateful that you stepped out of that comfort zone to take on that higher leadership role. So thank you so much for your help this year. These are just some of the examples of your generous spirit, and I really do apologize that I can't call out each and every one of you today, because all of you deserve to be called out. I'll just say with all humility that I stand here as a representative of the entire Geisel faculty and staff, and when I'm here, I'm speaking on their behalf. That I say we're incredibly proud of what you've accomplished, and for being such a rich part of our community. We guided your transformation from an aspiring applicant to now graduating as a practicing physician. And yet, at that same time, you have touched us and made an impact on our lives and the lives of many people throughout our community here, as well as communities around the country. And for that, I just want to thank you, and I really admire you for what you've committed to doing. There's a line of dialogue in the film Oppenheimer. I don't know if any of you have seen that, but it's a line of dialogue that really caught my attention in this regard. And it was when Niels Bohr looked at Oppenheimer and said, "The important thing isn't can you read music, it's can you hear it." And Bohr was exploring Oppenheimer's insight into the underlying mathematical calculations that he was doing. And he was probing whether Oppenheimer truly understood the implications for his work and how it transcended the math. And I was struck by that because what we've done in our curriculum, we've given you the technical skills to practice medicine. And basically, we've given you the skills to read the music, which is medicine. But what I see and what I've experienced with you all is that your actions and how you commit yourselves to service to others and to helping others improve their lives. That's through community service, that's through research to create new knowledge, that's through academic administration. I see that, I've experienced it, and I know that means to me, I know you can hear the music. You are creating that music, and you understand how you, as individuals, can transcend mere practice and mere technical skills of medicine. You can really change people's lives. And for me, it's been remarkable to behold in all of you and see how you do that. So I don't know what our collective futures hold. We have elections in front of us, all sorts of things in society. I don't know what our futures hold. What I do know is that I feel very confident walking into that future side by side with all of you. It's really impossible not to have confidence in our future based upon what I have witnessed and what we as faculty and staff have witnessed in you and your actions and your growth over the past few years. I just really, in getting to know many of you, I can't imagine putting our future into the hands of a more capable and thoughtful and compassionate group of people to lead us into that new future. You arrived here at Geisel as extraordinary individuals. Exceptional intelligence, compassion, driving desire to help others. And for each one of you, those attributes were shaped by your own personal life experiences. What we've done is, through our curriculum and the co-curricular activities that we provided, is simply to challenge your innate characteristics into the practice of medicine. And now we get to go into a future with you where we get to hear that music that you create with your parents and with your patients and with your communities. So class of 2024, I will conclude this last lecture at Geisel by saying, on behalf of all of the faculty and all of the staff, It has been our distinct pleasure and privilege to work with you and to guide you through your medical education. I am offering you my deepest congratulations on your graduation today, and I'm looking forward to witnessing how you're going to fill our world with the music that you create through your medical practice. So congratulations to each of you, and good luck on everything going forward.